What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to talk about Elon Musk and his interview with former President Trump from yesterday, my reaction to it, and what this means for Tesla stock. Let me just note that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, when it comes to Tesla, we had this very, very nice looking structure that was developing as Tesla made this higher low relative to this low rate over here. And I mentioned to everyone that we also had a potential inverse head and shoulders like structure that was developing like this. We did a good job at holding up, and you guys can see that Tesla managed to break past our key resistance at that $200 area. So since we broke that, Tesla's been on a bit of a breakout, approaching not only 202 but also 205. If we break the 205s, our next target will be all the way up towards 208 to 209, this range right over here. So there is more upside potential for Tesla. We're doing a good job at holding up. But the question is, what else will affect us and what should we be watching for as time goes on? I want to talk about Elon Musk and break down some very important things that happened. So, as you guys know, right, Elon Musk has embraced former President Trump and endorsed him, at least for president, when it comes to the next election. And he's gotten lots of criticism for this. This also hurts Tesla in some ways because many companies do not want to partner with Tesla as a result. However, like I said in my previous videos, this does not necessarily mean it's the end of the world for Tesla, because what's good about Tesla is that they are a very strong company, regardless of some companies not wanting to partner with them, and they're going to be fine when it comes to innovation and such. So having Musk as CEO is a trade-off. There are going to be some things that are a little negative, but other things that are great. But I personally think that the good and great that comes from Musk greatly outweighs the bad, in my personal opinion. Now, something else that happened was, with all this talk about former President Trump, Musk actually had the very important space call with him, and it was absolutely insane, absolutely massive. If I'm going to be blunt, uh, the news just came out. I think they just surpassed 1 billion views. That happened within a day, which is pretty insane. Within a day, they got a 1 billion views. That's how many people are willing to listen. And I just think that this is great news. It really shows that Elon Musk is massive. Okay, hundreds of millions, if not billions, of people are willing to listen to him during these big interviews, and it just shows what kind of power he has. So that gives Tesla a lot of advertising power. It gives Tesla a lot of power when you see what is going on with X and how it's growing. And you guys have to remember that this is very, very huge for Tesla as well, because Musk is advertising Tesla on this platform almost every single day. You have to remember that. So that's what's very important, the capabilities of X and how many people it can reach. And then on top of that, you have to remember what actually happened. So, what happened during his interview? It wasn't really much of an interview, it was more of like a conversation. I really admire the realism, the fact that each of the speakers got to just speak, but I'm going to be honest that I don't really want to get into the full political details. I want to stay out of politics on this channel. I'm just going to say this: there are a lot of good points made from each of them, and there are things that former President Trump and Elon Musk did agree on. Most of the stuff they did seem to agree on, but there were some things they disagreed on, such as their views on certain things like Chernobyl, not to mention a lot of different things involving nuclear technology. But it's okay. People are going to have their disagreements. But what I think was good, at least for Tesla, is the fact that we have this relief that former President Trump and Elon have a very good relationship. They're getting along very well, and it could have its benefits for Tesla. Former President Trump also has different views when it comes to the auto industry, and that could be a little negative for Tesla. That's something that we all know. Musk has said openly that subsidies being reduced is not necessarily going to, destroy Tesla. It's more like for the short term, this could have a negative effect, but for the long term, it's going to have a bigger effect on their competitors and not so much for Tesla. Tesla will be completely fine. And he mentioned that Tesla does not depend on subsidies as much as people think. So yeah, I think those are very valid points that Musk has made. So I would say that the interview was actually a big success. The conversation he had with former President Trump, and it's good to see that they're getting the attention, the views that they need. But just know that this is not necessarily all good. There's a big trade-off. So the good that came from this is just seeing X's capabilities, the fact that Musk has a good relationship with a former president and also the possible president, right? Depending on how the election goes, and a bunch of different things. I do think that this gave some relief to investors that if former President Trump were to win, it's not the end of the world for Tesla. It's not going to hurt Tesla as bad as some people may think. And I think that's it's very great to hear, nice updates, nice opinions just like that. So I like what they went with over here. I like the fact that it wasn't really filtered. Everyone just got to speak their minds, and it was a very good conversation. So if you want to find it, you guys could look on YouTube or even X. But I just want to say it was great in a lot of ways. I like the format of it as well, just a real conversation. No, like, nothing was just scripted or anything like that. So pretty cool stuff. And I hope we get to see more interviews like this in the future. So I want to give Elon Musk a big shout out as well. This was very awesome. Another question is what's happening with Tesla and how will this affect us? So there wasn't really anything too negative that was said for Tesla, at least through the interview. With all the attention that Tesla and Elon Musk got, this is more positive for Tesla. Not to mention the fact that we got a decent PPI. Right now, with the decent PPI, the next major catalyst will be CPI. So I will talk more about that maybe later on. But that's going to be the next major catalyst for tomorrow. Otherwise, there's not really much coming out for the rest of the day. We just have Bostic giving a speech. So, what about the share price for Tesla? As of right now, we're looking more bullish. We have this 205 area is going to be our resistance zone. And like I said before, if we break this, we'll be approaching the 208.5 to 209 area. That will be the next resistance. If we break that, we'll continue to pump. And if we fail to hold above 205, so this is going to be a tight resistance, got to try to get back above that. Look out for 202 again as our key support. So far, we're looking pretty good, though. Tesla's still up almost 3.8%. It's doing a good job. And I think that the chart is still favoring upside a bit more. Now, whether this continues, whether we continue to pump, depends on a lot of different factors. We have the 200 EMA as resistance at 205 for the daily time frame. We still have a gap to fill above, but whether or not we get this pump depends on CPI and other factors like that. But so far, even for today, the chart is still favoring the upwards direction. It's going to likely try to test these higher levels like 205 plus. So it's looking pretty good. For SPY, I'm going to be looking at this very key resistance. So the 538 area is going to be a tough area to be watching for. We're seeing some tough resistance there. If we manage to break it, I think we could be going all the way up towards 541. And then we also could be going to 544 after that as the next potential resistance. So those are going to be your levels to watch for. If we turn back down, watch 538 as one of our supports. And I'll be looking at basically the 535 areas of critical support. That's the main support to watch for. As long as we're above 535, we're going to be looking pretty good. But if anything, SPY looks more bullish, at least heading into CPI. So we'll see how things go. Remember, CPI, could be capricious. We don't always know what's going to happen, but we still look more bullish. ES looks more bullish. We called out the 5400s, which were likely coming. Going to be looking at this resistance now, right over here around this 5434 area. We do suggest upside is likely coming. I like SPX's setup. We're trying to fill this gap. We haven't fully filled this gap yet, so it still implies more upside potential is there. The 5400 area exactly is what I called out, and that's where we are. 5409 is likely coming too. We look more and more bullish. Nvidia, nice pump on Nvidia. We actually broke this resistance. We got above this 113 area. Our next target is going to be closer to about almost 116 is where I saw this resistance and potential for us to go all the way up to. This 115 to 116 area, I would say, would be a nice resistance. And if we do break that, our next target is going to be 120. So watch 115 to 116 as resistance. Our key support to watch for is going to be around 113. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping. If we hold that, we could continue to hold up. So we're looking pretty good in my personal opinion. For Bitcoin is kind of stuck in the middle. We also have this resistance around 59,600. We're kind of stuck in between, going back and forth and back and forth. I'm not really seeing much, but I do see a little bit of upside potential to get closer to about 60,000. It's still very choppy. For what else is very strong, if not stronger than SPY, is the QQQ. We got a nice break today. We didn't just break past 455, but also 457. I was calling out 457. We're even above that. So watch 460 is resistance. If we close above this for today and then we hold above it tomorrow, our next target is 464, then all the way up towards 470. If we end up losing 454, look for a dip back down to 450. But so far, the chart is strongly favoring upside for the 460s. I'll be looking to see if we can try to get back above 460. If that's the case, I'd be watching 462 and 464. We still favor upside. On Aapl, I called out 221. That's where we've been going to. If we lose 220, watch out for about 216. As long as we're above 220, I favor a move up to about 223. We look more bullish. On Supermicro, I called out 580. We touched that, and I think there's more upside potential for it. Gonna be watching to see if we can break 580. If we break, then I think our next target is gonna be up all the way up to about 605. And if we lose 550, we turn back down, but this is still looking more bullish. For the IWM, look at resistance at 206. If we break this, we'll be looking for a push for 208. And if we fail here, we'll be looking for a dip back down towards 204. We are still favoring the upside, in my personal opinion. For Coinbase, we have a nice kind of like higher low that's being made right here. If we manage to hold above 194.7, as long as we hold above that, I think we favor upside and we could get closer to 200. If we lose 194.7, we're going to dip. I would say the chart it's very choppy, but it does suggest upside is a little bit stronger. So not looking too bad. Amazon looks a little bit more bullish. Make sure you watch our 20 EMA, the 167 area as key support. As long as we hold above this, I favor 170 that's coming. If we end up losing 167, we're going to be dipping. We're kind of choppy, but I do see some upside potential. For Meta, I said if we break past 520, look for 525. That's almost exactly where we went to this high up here. So watch resistance around 526.5. If we break that, we're going to continue to squeeze. If we lose 520, we turn back down towards 508. But in all honesty, with this imbalance up here, we do favor upside for a break towards 530. For Microsoft, we look a little bit more bullish. If we hold above, let me just double check this. 412, I favor a push all the way up towards this 415 area. If we lose 412, we're going to be dipping back down towards 406, but this is suggesting upside is more favorable for 415, excuse me. For Google, we look a little bit more bullish. If we lose 464, we turn back down. If we break 166, we turn even more bullish. I'd be looking for a push for 116 if we break 166. Otherwise, we are trying to push, but it's a little bit slow, I would say. It's a slow push, not looking as strong as other tickers like Tesla, but I just wanted to call it out. So right now, the market's holding up very, very well, and we have a lot more upside potential. To really fulfill that potential, we're going to need a good CPI, a decent one at least. Because PPI was decent, there's a good chance that CPI will be fine as well. So we'll be very, very optimistic and see how things end up going. For now, Tesla's favoring the upside, so watch that resistance around that 205 area. And know that Tesla is favoring the upside direction. This is a chart one more time. Looks pretty good, especially this nice green bar on the 4-hour time frame. We are still favoring the upside. So far, so good. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you guys have a great day. Once again, this conversation that Elon Musk had was very important. I think it's great to hear very, very real, unfiltered conversations. And I just want to say I'm very, very optimistic about the future for Tesla based on what we heard in this, because it gives us more insights on what X is capable of doing, the attention Musk could bring, the advertising capabilities of Tesla, and also the fact that there is some relief about how Musk has a good relationship with the former president and possibly the soon-to-be president, which was still there's a lot of positive that came from that. Not saying that this interview was entirely positive. Obviously, Musk will get criticism and things will happen, especially with different companies. But I still believe Tesla's future is bright. Elon Musk's his future is very bright as well, and the future for Tesla is in great hands, in my personal opinion. All right, so that's it for this video. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.